Glove's going to get a run out. He hammers it down.
It's live action out there.
We're back. Time for another edition of the Carolina Insider Rapid Reactions Edition. It's presented by Modelo, and it is coming your way after Adam, quite simply, by the way, I'm Jones Angell. He's Adam Lucas. Quite simply, a game Carolina had to have. The Tar Heels needed a quality victory, and they pick it up in the Smith Center Saturday night, 71-63 over Virginia. Adam, I am not a basketball expert, but going 9 of 16 from three-point range in the first half didn't hurt things for the Tar Heels.
You know when your parents keep telling you something over and over and you're like, okay, parents, but then begrudgingly you have to admit they were right? Remember when Roy Williams used to always say it always looks better when the ball goes in the basket? I think that rascal knew what he was talking about because the Tar Heels started hot from three. The first basket was that Pete Nance three-pointer right there, and that carried them to a double-digit lead there in the first half that they were able to hold on to throughout the whole game, never trailed. As the perimeter marksmanship opened up the Virginia defense because you know the Cavaliers wanted to pack it in, but they couldn't because the Tar Heels were hitting from outside at a clip that we haven't really seen since the Clemson game.
Yeah, you're seeing a whole lot of Pete Nance right there because, Adam, this was, I think, Pete Nance's best game as a Tar Heel. He had 28 points earlier in the year against Portland, but stakes a little different today. 22 points. He also had 4 blocked shots. He was 7 of 10 from the floor, 4 of 4 at the free throw line, 4 of 4 from three-point range. He just looked like a confident player out there.
Had a laser assist to Puff Johnson in the second half. And Jones called this after the game on Wednesday at Notre Dame. Other than the shots, Pete Nance played really well against the Irish. And Hubert Davis talked about that with Pete this week in practice and when they met in the coach's office. And today you saw that same all-around game, but with the shots going in. And Tar Heels couldn't have won it without him.
Other scorers for Carolina, R.J. Davis had 16 to go along with 10 rebounds. That matches the season high in rebounds, a double-double, his third of the season. Also double figures for Baycott, 11 points, 6 boards. Caleb Love had 10 points as well. Puff Johnson gave Carolina some really good minutes off the bench in this one too. All right, we're going to get to a couple interviews. I talked to Hubert Davis. Adam talked to Pete Nance. We'll let you listen and watch both of those. Come back, talk a little bit more about this win for the Heels, and look ahead to Monday night in Tallahassee against Florida State here on the Carolina Insider. Yeah, thank you, Dave. Inside the Continental Tire Coach's Corner. Great win for Carolina, 71-63 over Virginia. Coach, this felt like a game that you needed to have, and your team came out and responded with one of its better performances of the year. Your thoughts after this big win?
Yeah, just really proud of the guys. You know, playing against Virginia, one of the better teams in the country. It's always going to be a very difficult matchup. And, you know, heading into the game, obviously we've got to be able to lock in defensively, but they're so gifted on the defensive end, not only team-wise but individual-wise, that probably the biggest key for us is, you know, our ability to score. In order for us to score, obviously we want to get to the basket through post, penetration, offensive rebounds, but it's been very difficult to be able to get in there, and we just, at the end of the day, we needed to be able to knock down some open jump shots, and we were able to do that. Pete, he hit 4 threes, RJ hit 2, Puff hit 2. That gave us the spacing to be able to drive, get into the penalty in the second half, and hold on to win against, as I said before, one of the better teams in the country in Virginia.
Coach, does any of that shooting-wise make sense? I mean, Tar Heels hit 15 threes against Clemson, then just 14 in the next 3 games combined, and then they're 9 of 16 in the first half that allowed you to that big lead.
No, I mean, we got the same looks tonight that we've gotten in those games, those close games that we lost to Pitt, to Duke, to Miami. We just didn't make them, and today we made enough. And at the end of the day, that's what we're going to need. You know, team's not going to allow us to get to the basket. They're not going to allow us just to throw the ball to the post and Armando and let them go to work. In order to have spacing, you have to be able to shoot the basketball. And so for the remainder of the year, we don't have to hit 15 or we don't have to hit 9 in the first half, but we have to make a healthy dose of threes in order for us to be really efficient offensively.
Coach, Pete Nance has had struggles shooting the ball this year. It felt like, though, the last couple of games he was really being active and helping your team in other ways. I have to imagine you're incredibly proud of him tonight when it all came together.
I am really proud of him because he's a great kid and he's a really good basketball player. And like any player, there are times where you're just out of rhythm. And the criticism that he has taken, to me, criticizing kids is absolutely disgusting. I just do. And for him to respond and to step up, not just in this game, but last game, it wasn't shooting, but he led our team in assists. He had a double-double. He was perfect from the free throw line against Notre Dame, and he was just big for us tonight. Not only his shooting, but his playmaking, his passing skills, and then on the defensive end, if he didn't block a shot, I thought he did a good job altering shots around the basket, and he just had an unbelievable game.
I was going to ask you about those blocks. Leaky had 4, Pete had 4, so you have 8 as a team. And as you mentioned, even if you didn't block them, felt like you challenged Virginia really well at the rim.
What we did, one of the things that we worked on in practice is walling around the basket. So many teams do that on us, and we're like, foul, foul. But if you take off on point A and you land in point A and you go vertical, there isn't any foul. And so, we've talked about it all throughout the year, but we really made an emphasis, like around the basket, that's how we need to protect it. And I felt Leaky, Armando, Pete did a really good job of doing that. And it's tough to make shots over them because of their length, and we didn't put them on the free throw line.
2 veteran lead guards in this game, in Kihei Clark and RJ Davis, and felt like RJ had one of his better games in a while, not just shooting, and he was 5 of 10, 16 points, but 10 rebounds, 4 assists, just 2 turnovers. Felt like a really good game from him.
Yeah, it really was. We need him to play well, and he was a point guard tonight. 10 rebounds, double-double from RJ. He's, 2'9". And but he had 8 rebounds against Notre Dame. One of the things that I've challenged the team on is it's not an Armando Bacot rebounding game; it's a UNC rebounding game. And for him to step up and get 10 rebounds, take care of the basketball, get us into our offense. Virginia's guards are real on the ball. I mean, they are. Beekman and Clark. I don't think there's some people at their level, but there's nobody better than them in terms of the pressure and the way they can get steals and deflections on and off the ball. So for him to only have 2 turnovers and played, I think, 36 minutes, that's pretty good.
This will be coming up on Monday, 4th game in 8 days, 3rd game since Wednesday. So a bunch of games and important games for your team here in a short amount of time. What's important in your mind in this very quick turnaround to Monday night?
Preparation and rest. I told them to enjoy the rest of today. It's very hard to win. It's very hard to win in this league, and to enjoy what they did today. And then tomorrow, let's lock in and let's get ready in terms of our preparation to get ready to play a really good game against a Florida State team that won on the road today at Miami. I think they were down by 25 points and were able to come back and hit a game-winning 3 at the buzzer. So Coach Hamilton, I actually played with him. He was my coach with the Washington Wizards for 1 year. His teams, irregardless of their record, are always competitive and always good defensively and a competitive fight. And so we'll be ready. But today I want to celebrate a really good win against Virginia.
Just one more thing before we let you go, and thank you, as always, for your time. I know the job isn't done, but your team had its back against the wall a little bit. Felt like it responded in a really good way tonight. Just be interested in your thoughts on their response.
Well, I thought it was a terrific response on Wednesday. So many people, you look around the country, I mean, there's ranked opponents that have lost 4 out of 5, 5 out of 6. It's hard, and there's times throughout the season where you fall a little bit short and things aren't working out. And you talked about it. What shows the team is what kind of response do you have out of it. And so for them to go on the road, and people have no idea how good and how talented Notre Dame is, and to go and win that one shooting 33% from the field, and then get back at 3 o'clock in the morning, and to be able to lock in and play at 6 o'clock on Saturday against Virginia, and for them to play this way, so proud of them, and their response has been awesome.
Job not done, of course, for the Tar Heels. Still some heavy lifting to do, and that includes Monday against Florida State. Coach, congratulations. Always appreciate your time. Look forward to talking with you soon.
All right, thanks a lot, Jones. I appreciate it.
That's Hubert Davis, guys. Continental Tire, Coach's Corner.
Alongside Pete Nance after a big Carolina win over Virginia. Pete, first half, just pouring down three-pointers. A game after it was not pouring down three-pointers in South Bend. What was the difference tonight?
Yeah, I think just continued belief, belief in ourselves, belief in each other, and belief in the work. We've all been working really hard and getting a lot of reps in practice, outside of practice, and eventually, water always finds its level. So it was good to see the ball go in tonight.
When you're doing the work but not getting the results in games, what do you tell yourself? How do you maintain to feel like eventually they are going to go in?
Yeah, I think just you got to have the belief in the fact that you're making yourself, you're giving yourself the best chance to be successful, and that's the business we're in. Shots go in and shots don't sometimes, and I think just continuing to keep your head down and keep working and know that it'll eventually come through.
You had some big blocks too. Virginia really not ever able to get any decent looks at the basket all night long. What were you trying to do defensively to make sure as they got closer to the rim you were there to take care of things?
Yeah, I mean, they got some really quick guards. I thought our guys did a great job of keeping them out of the paint, but those guys were quick. I guarded a couple times, so just trying to cover up the rim and just do my job.
When you saw that first shot go in, what did that feel like?
Yeah, I mean, it felt great. I've been in a big time slump for I don't know how many games now, and just to see one go in and see how excited my teammates were for me was a big moment for me, and it meant a lot to me.
What's this last month been like for you?
It's been tough. I think not performing to the team standards or personal standards, I think was really hard on me. But just tried to keep my head down and keep working and know that it's a long year, and I was just going through a slump. So just trying to stick with it.
What was helpful to you during that stretch?
Yeah, I think all the credit to my team. Like I said earlier, I think not giving up on me and continuing to have faith in me and continuing to pass me the ball. I just telling them, they kept telling me it's going to go in eventually, and I think that was the big difference maker for me.
Thursday's practice, Coach Davis took everybody out to center court and went around to each starter and talked about something you had done really well at Notre Dame, a game that a lot of people thought was not a great game, but he made it pretty positive on Thursday. What's the tone been like since then, and how did that help tonight?
Yeah, I think it definitely helped in giving us confidence. We knew that was kind of an ugly game, and we definitely didn't play as good as we could play, but sometimes those are the hardest ones to win. When it's a ugly game and you can't make any shots, I think, just keeping your head down and gutting one out, I think, was a big-time win for us.
Turning ahead and having to do it so quickly with the quick turnaround at Florida State on the road on Monday night, what's the key in these type of games where you only have one day of preparation?
I think just being really locked in mentally. Obviously we're not going to probably do a ton on the court tomorrow, but being really locked in, on the scouting report and in film, I think is going to be super important for us. 22
points for Pete Nance. Tar Heels beat Virginia in front of a very raucous Smith Center. Pete, thank you.
Thank you.
So again, the final score 71-63. Carolina led by as many as 17, by 16 at halftime, led by 16 late. Virginia had a couple baskets in the last 2 minutes or so to get a little closer, but the Tar Heels win by 8. Adam, Carolina's had its back against the wall here this week and responded, wins at Notre Dame on Wednesday and then in the Smith Center tonight against Virginia, and that situation does not change. They have another, not necessarily must win, but one you'd much rather have than not have on Monday night in Tallahassee.
And these back halves of Saturday, Monday are tough, especially when the Monday half is on the road. So the Tar Heels will have to fly down on Sunday. They'll have very limited preparation for the Seminoles, a team that they haven't seen at all this year. So you're getting ready for an entirely new team. You won't have the same atmosphere that you had today. I thought the Smith Center crowd made a big difference today. It was full and it was loud and it propelled the Tar Heels on a couple of those runs. The energy in Tallahassee on Monday night will not be the same. So Carolina's going to have to bring their own energy, bring their own preparation, and get ready to beat a Florida State team that's coming off a good win today over Miami.
One other thing about this win for Carolina over Virginia, I thought Carolina's defense at the rim was really important. You saw a couple blocks from Pete Nance in that highlight package. Leaky Black had 4 blocks as well, and even if they weren't blocking shots, it felt like Carolina was challenging shots at the rim.
I thought it was interesting what Hubert Davis said with you about how that's something the Tar Heels have worked on. They've emphasized that in practice, walling off around the basket, and the fact that it's not being called a foul, so do it. And the Tar Heels did it more effectively today and prevented some what would have been easy Virginia baskets on a day when the Cavaliers weren't hitting a lot of jump shots.
Tar Heels have now won 3 of the last 4 against Virginia. Of course, the Cavaliers have been a tough nut to crack for the Heels over the last several seasons, but have now won 3 of the last 4. All right, Monday night, 7 o'clock, Tallahassee, Carolina, and Florida State. We're on the air radio-wise for that one at 6 p.m. But for tonight, Tar Heels improved to 18-11, 10-8 in ACC play, get their best win of the season, an 8-point win over Virginia. Thanks for being with us here on the Carolina Insider.
Glove's going to get a run out. He hammers it down.
It's live action out there.